Yes, guys, just giving you a bit of football chat with Darns. I'm gonna try and do these on a regular basis now, especially with the season beginning to come to a close. I'm gonna miss some football. I'm sure you are the same, so I'm just gonna share with you my insight, my views, and yeah, man, if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. But yeah, learn something from my intelligence. Nah, I'm only joking, but yeah. So today, what I sort of come across something on Twitter, and it just like it triggered me, so I just thought let me just come and speak on it, and it's more related into Guardiola at Man City. I think myself and many of us are very critical in the fact that he hasn't won a Champions League yet, and after kind of seeing what I saw today, I do think this is unfair criticism. Now, if we look at his time at City, he spent 4 seasons there. The first year, he sort of came into a squad, didn't really do too well, but again, that squad wasn't used to playing the way he wants to play. So yeah, we all know he spent a lot of money, he bought his fullbacks, spent money on goalkeepers, etc. And then they then went on to win the league twice, record number of points. We all know how that went. This year, Liverpool have kind of took over a bit more. Yep, they've been brilliant. They've carried on from the season before. But if we kind of focus back to the Champions League and look at Guardiola, he's won 2 Champions Leagues in his 12 years managing. Now, I don't know what more we expect from the guy, really, because if we look at Sir Alex Ferguson and United, they won 2 in a 21-year period. Liverpool, yeah, they've won 2 Champions League. They won last year and then in 2005, but they've only won 2 in the last 26 years. Arsenal, Wenger, never won one. Bayern, 2 in 44 years. Like, the list goes on. If we look at Messi, Barcelona, he's only won 1 in the last 9 years. So it's not as if if we look at Messi himself, it's not as if Messi's been winning 2, 3 in the last 10 years, because it hasn't been happening. Juve haven't won one for 25 years. PSG never won one. So it's all well and good saying, oh, Guardiola hasn't done this yet, he hasn't done that, but let's give the man some credit for what he has done. But I think Guardiola, he doesn't do himself any favours in that. Obviously, the way that he plays, the style, he puts a pressure on himself, and just from the way he kind of exploded with Barcelona, he had one of the greatest teams the world's never seen. We do expect an awful lot from him, and I'll be honest, I was critical of him the other day. I said to my friend of mine, I was like, what was that starting lineup all about? It's like he's very fixated with almost trying to be the genius at times and deliver that team or that tactic that we didn't expect. So if we sort of backtrack to the Madrid games, if we look at the first leg where everyone thought Jesus was starting for the middle, but what did he do? No, Jesus was on the wing. Now, Jesus hasn't played on the wing all season, but yet for arguably the biggest game of the season, he puts Jesus on the wing. But then it worked out well, because you could see in the game there was a game plan behind it, and you could see Jesus was more than willing to be tracking back. As we know, Madrid love to attack with their fullbacks. But even going back to that game, in the second half, what happened? They resorted to their normal shape. Jesus went up front, Sterling came onto the left, and that's when they won the penalty for the second goal. And so fast forward now to this week with the game against Lyon, and it's like straight away I saw the starting lineup and I'm like, what is going on? And reading something today, it's like there was no David Silva, no Bernardo Silva, no Phil Foden, and no Mahrez, and that's the first time none of those 4 players have started in the last 47 games. Now, that says something, because those 4 all creative players. You've gone into a massive game like this with 3 at the back against a Lyon team who's finished mid-table in the French league. Like, it's baffling. I mean, I'm not one to, fucking hell, I'm no big coach, I'm no genius, but it is just a bit of a confusing one. You just left De Bruyne in there on his own just to kind of pull strings with Sterling and Jesus. Whereas you look at the system that you've been playing, and this makes me question, as a player in that team, yes, Guardiola is very passionate, he's very charismatic, I don't question his ability to get the players to believe in the system, but you would kind of question, why are we playing this formation today? Given that the 4-3-3 formation has been what's worked for City over the last few years. That's what Guardiola is known for over his whole career. So to kind of convert to that formation in this game seemed very strange. I think they have done it at times at City, but it's been times where they've played the two up top, so sometimes they've had it to accommodate both Jesus and Aguero. But yeah, it was a weird one for me. I'm not sure whether maybe someone, I'll have to check if maybe Leon played three at the back. I'm not sure if that was the thinking why, just to kind of match them man for man in formations. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that was just a weird one. And obviously, but saying that, they made chances. Jesus had the volley, Sterling had the big chance at 2-1. So despite these things, could have gone in their favour, and they could and probably should have progressed through in the Champions League. But another year goes. It will be interesting to see now what happens next season. Again, you can see they've wasted no time to get signings in, with Nathan Ake coming in. They've signed another winger also. So yeah, they won't be wasting no time. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the striker situation. Are they going to just stick with the Aguero and Jesus? Apparently, we hear that no midfielder is going to be coming in for David Silva, but whether that's true or not, we'll see again. I do expect another centre-back to come in. Apparently Garcia is not going to be signing a new contract, so he may be leaving also. But yeah, so interesting times. It'll be interesting to see how all the clubs kind of react, because Liverpool, I'm sure they've already made a few signings. And it'd be interesting to see Man U, how can they keep up? You know Chelsea are going to be in business, and it's just whether Spurs and Arsenal, have they got the budget, have they got the financial power to kind of keep up with the rest? I think we saw Spurs slowly making signings with Højbjerg from Southampton, and I think today news has just broke that they're signing Joe Hart, which is an interesting one for both parties. I'm pretty sure he's probably signing as a backup. As you'd imagine, they're more than likely going to stick with Lloris, even though he has got a mistake in him, but it kind of makes sense. And I see maybe Joe Hart's just coming in just to add a bit more experience, playing the cup games, playing the Europa League games. So it makes sense on both sides. I did think he would be maybe wanting to get somewhere where he can play regular football, but I guess he wants to just be at the top of the game where he can, which you can understand makes sense. But yeah, those are just my thoughts, and yeah, I think from now, I think going forward, I should cut Guardiola some slack in terms of the Champions League. Yeah, we want City to do it. Yeah, this is the one trophy they're missing, but I think you only have to look at some of the other European greats and to understand that it's not as easy as just spending money and you get through. PSG is a big example of that, with the squad and the players they've got. I know we all say the league makes a difference because they're playing in France, but yeah, I think that just adds some context for me, just sort of seeing other clubs' records and realising, yeah, Guardiola's record ain't actually that bad. 2 in 12 years? Not too shabby, is it? Even look at Jose, what's he got? He's got 2 Champions League in more years. So yeah, Guardiola is definitely right man. They're in Europe next year, so that's all good. And yeah, looking forward to next season. But yeah, that's it for today. Bye bye.